す。マリアーズミックス。カセットテープ製のゲームだ。お、またマイアミか。今週のマイアミ。
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between.
はい。
But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course.
旅行は
I'm
癒
a
し。
restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months. Bellariva was my chance to take a break.
あ、二ほどき。あ、設定だった。このカバンを開けろと。なんだこれ。
I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once.
ね、これピック。
Rock and roll repair woman at your service. The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these.
これは
I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off.
アルストツカに栄光あれ。
My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style. My parents took this after I had my first repair. Seems like a lifetime ago. Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this. I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work.
マリアーズレストレーションズ。あ、ほい。ほい。スーツケースの解体完了しましたと。
Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva.
フードフェ
I'd
スティ
come
バ
for
ル。
the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months,
旅
I
行
was
先でインス
craving
タントラーメン
a
食いたい
decent
な。
meal. Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there
1979年。
beyond the four walls. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from.
ネジや
I
配線
loved
に隠され
figuring
た
out their
思い出。
stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires.
このネジ天
My
空足
story
りて
in
ませんよ。
Bellariva began with a little girl and a voice she was longing to hear.
基本的にパズルゲームだと終わる。お、なんだ。
It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking in the main square. Meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on
お、
the back.
廃墟者イジーだ。
I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around and
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you...
これはひどい。 重症ですな。
Why did you do that?
怒られたからやめる。
How did you do that? I didn't see.
マウスを横に動かしたんですよ。これですか？電池が足りてないのでは？
Still not working. Something else must be wrong.
なので操作方法を教えてほしい。はいはいはい。おや？不審なプラスドライバーネジを発見した。はいはい。
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
よし。片方の電池だけを新品にすることで長持ちさせることができるんですよ。知ってました？ごめんごめん。ネジを広場に捨てるところだった。これ完成では。こうやって動作確認もしろと。
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing?
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence
いきなり
accepted
重い話にな
would
ってしまっ
never
た。
be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious. I wrote out the full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. A part I wouldn't be able to fix.
悲しい話をしないでくれ。これ何や一体。
My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening, the front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the
イシーの
office.
ことか。
Are you Maria? My name's I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him. It survived 100 years in this family.
100年前のフィギュア技術すげえな。
Do you think you can salvage it?
イザベルがやったんかい。お、これなんだ、木工用ボンドかな。パズルゲーム始まったな。
Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks. こんなベッタベタで大丈夫なのか？ Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a
Oh.
warning label.
美しい。すっ。 一点パズルゲーム。これ失敗することある？
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
心配性なら大丈夫だって。壊れたらまた接着剤くっつけりゃいいよ。ご飯粒をくっつけてもいいんじゃないかな。ほら、よし。肖像。
Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for
Sorry,
the festival.
I'm a little
There's only a
tired.
few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late. Again?
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just...
お、黒電話か？黄色かった。
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful
ベ
sunny
ラリーバ
morning.
って実在する？
Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning
うなぎ、
I
う
stopped.
なぎの匂いでご飯を食べるクリアライスじゃん。
Roasted coffee beans and freshly. I was about to go inside
カルメ
when
ン
the
ツ。
owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
頼みたいことがあるんだ。
Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables and
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
as Carmen chatted, she walked.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some... can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
またリカちゃんが電話線を破壊したの？もしもし？
You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
大丈夫。この一人配信でもこの NPC が永遠と話しかけてくるな。何これヒューズ？ちょっと待ってくれ。お客さんこれ欠陥品ですよ。ゼロがないんですけど。
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this.
はいはいはいはい。話しかけられる床屋みたいな気分になって。ほん。だいぶなんだこれ塗装ハゲか？都合よくも予備のパーツがあったんで、ほらこれは本水じゃんだよな。俺電話の仕組みなんてわかんねえからな。 ああ、電線をクリックしてツールボックスにドラッグすると切り離せる。そんな取り方ある？よし。だからだいぶ傷んでますね。わかりやすい。修理する人のことちゃんと考えている。はい、基盤。ありがとうダイオード。操作がちょっと難しいな。難しい。ちょっとここに置きたいんだが、
Looks like something is still missing.
まだ何か足りない。恐ろしいことを言うなよ。こう中央に置きたいんですが、よし。あ、違う違う違う。
There's still a part I need to attach. Where is it?
待て待て待て。阪神タイガース柄のドライバーいいな。合ってる。まだつける部品があるんだろう。おーい、合体しました。今はし電話。
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
およ？
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
Nope, it's ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
事件の匂いですわ。
That's if I can pay my phone bill anyway. And the rent and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your
また
coffee's
話
in
を
the
重
house.
くし始めたぞ。
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, as she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking
金の
advice.
催促か。
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the
しました。
festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
You don't need to be here though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
そのダイヤル式電話の修理代金もね、あるんですわな。
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
飛行機で来るの。
My sister's decided to fly it. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
絶対次は人間関係を直してくれみたいなこと言われるのかな。お、Linux。
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's
Cafe.
arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd. The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be
完
seen.
璧だっ
My
た。
sister tells me you know how to fix things.
妹？あ、
I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional
一眼レフ。
photographer's dream.
The viewfinder is
カメラ
completely
高いということでし
dark.
か知らんからな。
Can't see anything through it at all.
ファインダーを
I
覗いても
assume
真っ
you can
暗。
figure out what's wrong.
とりあえず分解しとけ。おお、なんか取れた。 カメラ雑に扱ったら怒られるかもしれないな。カメラ好きの相互さん結構。どうしたどうした。よし。はい。はいはい。マウスが足りねえ。
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
いやー、ミラーがいっちゃってますな。
If I use the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the
Oh.
mirror.
開口入った。
Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
ついでにこれも入れとけ。ほいほい。プラスドライバー1本あればね、何でもできるんですよ。これもとりあえず入れてほら。
Looks like there's still a screw missing.
分かってる分かってる。
Those screws still need to be
あ
put
れ
back.
ネジが1本余っちまったぞ。完成だ。
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to
使
shame.
い捨てカメラはね、かっこいいからね。かっこいい。
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a
1958円。
limited edition. The first of its
給料
kind.
3ヶ月分
It
の値
cost
段。
me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and
た
cheerful.
探偵か？
Surely she took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she
完
was
璧だ。
absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane
ハリケーンヘレナとは。
hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
主人公はだいぶユーモラスだな。ユーモラスで探偵なんだよな。なんやこれは一体。
The sun was
Ne-
setting
neon
over
kanban.
Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's
アルゴン
cafe.
を注入しろ。
From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust
めっ
in
ちゃ
here, I'll
めっ
never
ちゃ
hear
備え
of
てる
it.
というか怯えてるというか。
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop, trying to live up to the standards of
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of...
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it
ア
a
ッ
try?
センブル。それ壊れ 修理というかこれ組み立てじゃねえか。なるほどな。組み立ての時はアッセンブルって言うんだな。とりあえず分解しろ。だいぶマウスの幅を取るの。これなんだ。オープントレイ。何も問題もないようじゃがの。ここにくっつかないの。ここにくっついてほしいんだが。こうジャンパーゲート。俺のやり方がおかしいのかな。裏面に何かくっついたはいいんだけど、これ外せんの？接着面だよな。こいつをここに俺の操作がダメなのか。基盤は何も答えてくれない。あ、これは接着だー。それでええんか。ピタリと。美しい配線から。おいですね。
I think the whole thing is supposed to light
あ、
up.
光りましたよ。ああ、違う。はい。やめろ。こんな簡単にすっぽ抜けてるの危険だろうな。
I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
何言ってるんだ。これ何？あ、これリレー回路。客の要望に応えて即新しい基盤を用意する。有能すぎん？接着剤でペタリと。
still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
最初から出せ。これ全部含めてそういうキットだったのか。ビビビッと。この店はどんな店か。ピザ屋さんにしよう。今日からピザを作るんだ。うおー。
It works. I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
これ何？ルート分岐かな。俺の選択によってここがピザ屋になって、経営悪化によって廃業みたいな。ビビ。
The sign fixed. We headed outside.
アイスじゃん。
Put it carefully over the cafe door.
正規ルートアイスクリームだった。
That's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned.
ハリケーンヘレナである。
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town.
この町唯一のカフェだったの。
For better or worse, Helena had arrived. Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her.
ギスギスしていた。
Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is
ダメだ、
making
ピザダメだった。
sign.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
この町唯一のピザカフェにするんじゃ。なんだこれ。お SP 来た。
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and
修理は大変だな。
Izzy's house. I barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Maria, I need your help.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden
Beautiful.
overflowing
Oh,
with flowers
背の
of
高い
every
バラ。
color. Nestled among them was a playhouse. Its doorway
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
3つ数え
Izzy
る。
took
息
in
を
a
吸う。
big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique
スイッチ
shop.
が手に入らな
I
く
had
て
an axe. Can you
ゲーム
fix
ボーイア
it
ダ
for
ンス
me?
SP で。これなんだ。フォレストアドベンチャーポップンプレイとは。SP みたいな感じなのにソフトがゲームボーイみたいなんだよ。これマイク機能使う。やめようね。違う。どうやったらこんなボタンの粉砕の仕方するんだよ。ドライバーアイラーだって。おーへー、ゲーム機ってこんな単純なチップでできてんだな。 ご丁寧に焼き焦がしてる。これ拡張サウンドチップ。大音量で音楽でも聞いたんか。これどうですよ。おっす。まあよく予備のパーツを持っていたわ。確かに2番がここで。あと修理前の写真を撮ろうね。十字キーと1ボタンしかないんだ、このゲーム。こんな感じだけかな。
Do grown-ups play games as well?
もうやってますよ。音がそれっぽい。100点。
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was
何
so hard.
ゲーム内ゲーム来た。うわー。やり方いいぞ、これ。やったな。
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her
セン
own.
チ表記、ありがたい。
Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped
壁に向かって落とす。
really hard at the wall.
コントローラー投げる人、この言い訳使うといいよ。壁に向かってコントローラーを落としちゃったんだよって。
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
My dad said I had to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was. It made me think. Had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view? I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
ゲームオーバーの実績をもらった。
Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell. It was only then I noticed my favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but I was repairing
芝刈り機の修理をね。
lawn mower.
How unusual. Well,
珍しい仕
do
事な
come
のか。
in. The job.
Totally embarrassed, I walked into an orderly room filled with papers and ledgers. So this was his
ヘ
office.
ッドライナー。
You must be so busy getting ready for the festival.
アミーボフェスティバルですよ。
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor
食
to
事の
get
審
food
査。
from every cafe and restaurant in town. I'll be declaring the best chef in Bellariva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which,
He unclipped the watch from his wrist and
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
これまた壁に向かって時計が落ちたのかな。
Are you sure it will all fit back together?
心配性だな。イジーはあんまり話しかけてこなかったし、この蝶々が特別心配性みたいな感じなんだな。ラブ always すべてを愛している。ドライバー。
the main plate has completely cracked.
ぶっ壊しました。
To replace it. The cogs look good though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
そう。ちょっと修理する前覚えてないんですけど。これ叩き壊せないよ。こいつはここにしか入んない。くしゃり。とりあえず、これどうです？あ、ダメかい。でここで。回りました。回りました。こういうことかな。修理前とでも形状が全然違う気がする。そのドライバー通るか？いけるのか？ちゃんと工具スペース確保しないだろ。
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
これですよ。カチリカチリと。ネジが6本余っちまった。カチリカチリ。はいはい。EDD をセット。キュイーンキュイーン。完成しました。時計。
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. even with Isabel. I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
物と一緒に人間関係を直していくゲームって。
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he
家にいてもジョゼフの仕事は終わらない。
was never done.
俺は今仕事みたいなゲームやってるよ俺も。
I'll
奇
see
遇だ
you
な。
at the festival tomorrow.
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some.
NEXT。 なんだ。映写機か？
When my last job of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone I.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Carmen's apartment was a little
今日のカオ
chaotic,
ス。
but totally charming.
結構良さげなところに住んでるな。
Easy to imagine her living in a place like this.
地震起きたらその花瓶が頭に落ちてきそうで怖いだな。
It definitely wasn't Helena's style. She seemed more upmarket than flea market. I wonder why she was even here.
We're having a clear out. Or at least I am. Carmen's not helping. As usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things. She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a...
バディ。とりあえずネジがあったら外せと。何が悪いなら全くわからん。あ、これヒューズ？
That light bulb is completely
電
smashed.
球だったわ。
Okay, I'll need to redirect the light, the lens at the top for the projector to work.
ワーニング。Beware エレクトリー。電柱。これだ。開口チェック。は？ちゃんとドライバーガイドがない。これでどうですか？治りましたか？ここなんか分解できるじゃないか。あべし。
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here.
こんなところにスライド。本。
I was so excited when I moved to the city. Carmen, she looks so sad.
Reloading.
Here's the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
このスイッチ。お。はいはいはいはい。ほい。スライドの順番を当ててみようとかそういう話やめてくれよ。これどうかな。
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around. suppose she looked up to me. A cool older sister. She used to ask me when I was coming home.
Ah.
But I was always
話は終わってないですよ。
Helena was transfixed, staring at the two young sisters, the projector.
I never meant to let her down.
But you had
その上お金まで。
You came all this way just to help with the cafe.
That's the problem. There is no money.
あ
I lost my job at
あ、話がどんどん重くなっていく。
savings are
助けて。
gone. I have nothing. Common things. I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them okay. But I can't. Not this time. You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth. But she's so infuriating. How can I ask her for help when all she cares about is herself?
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self.
私の口座の残高だけ。
We drifted so far apart when I moved away. It felt like the only thing keeping us. I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't fair. But I
本
already
当モーズまで来てしまったら
everything
どうなるの？
else.
スライドしていく思い出の実績を解除しました。なんだこれ？ロケットか？沸点。これまた
The
怖
day
い
of the
な。
festival finally came, and after all my hard work, I was ready to put down my tools and pick up. The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were waiting, all of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables and stirring pots.
Maria! Thank God you're
一
here.
生のお願いシリーズ。何？俺料理をしてると。
Helena was supposed to help me run the stall today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed to show her face. I can't believe she lied to me.
Carmen was stirring so furiously, she was in danger of tipping the pot over altogether.
The mayor will be here any minute for the judging, but I'm almost out of my special.
She wasn't really going to ask me, was she?
休日出勤
Not
であ
on
る。
my day off.
I have a stove ready to build and everything. Can you set it up?
アッセンブル。カルメンズワイルドベジスープ。皆さんこれ見えますか？
Her recipe is a bit smudged. Never mind. I'm sure whatever I put in will be fine.
ぜひこれを元にみんな作ってくださいね。ワンピントオブストック。ワンパイントかな。ストックって何や。4分の1スティックオブハーフは多分キャロットかな。1ブロッコリーフローレッツ。ハンドフルオブチョップドトマトズ。腕いっぱいの刻みトマトか。3ワイルドマッシュルームかな。野生に生えたキノコを3つ。プレンティーオブなんだろうな。プレンティーの意味もわかんないんだよな。ブロッコリーのフロレッツっていうのもよくわかんないからな。ブロッコリー入ってる時点で俺好みじゃねえんだよな、これ。はい。燃やしてしまおう。燃やせない。お。これこすると匂いが出るカードですよ、これ。いや、いい匂いだね。この五徳っていうんだっけ、これ。知らねえんだけど。とりあえずくっつけとけ。どうだこれ。こその点カプラグ。これあ、 強力なマグネット磁石によってくっついている。違う違う違う違う、これですよ。待ってくれ、もう一個作れないと。
It all fits. Now to light the gas.
おお、すげえ、これでいいの？これ何？完成しました。はい、完成したよ。完成しましたが、ほら、火力調整どこでやんだ？ブロス。何これ？
I think that pot is really boiling now. Smells great if I say so myself. Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first?
料理パート始まった。ワンパイントオブストック。4分の1スティックオブ。だから英語の勉強してるんじゃねえぞ。有識者の誰か助けて。下手外してくれ。4分の1スティックオブハーフギャット、これでいいんだよな。ああ、下手つきで入れるとは料理が下手とは。ワンブロッコリーフロレッツってブロッコリーにいいのかな、これ。とりあえず1個入れとけ。ほら、なんで急に緑になるんだ。怖い。ハンドフルチョップ、これ全部入れとけ。
That looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve.
まだできてないんですか？あれをスプーン1杯分すくえば完成ということだ。ワイルドマッシュルームですよ。3つ。はい。で、最後なんだ。プレンティって何？バター好きだから入れとけ。ほら、これでいいんでね。どうですか？フォーシーズンスープ。
My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches. It was just in time. And a moment later, Joseph arrived with Izzy in tow. Carmen.
That was so tasty. Can I have some more, please?
いやー、よかった。
Well, you've certainly earned yourself a loyal customer in my daughter. We have a few more
すげえ
minutes to taste.
トップ争いに入った。
Good luck.
Joseph and Izzy looked so happy together. Maybe the festival was doing them some good after all. Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
カルメンがだいぶ決まってますが、これ大丈夫なんですかね？
She's so convinced I'll never succeed at anything.
She wants what's best for you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. Even when I was a kid, she pushed me when no one. I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then, I've asked so much of her over the years.
さっきのスープ失敗したら分岐とかあんのかな。お、レコードプレイヤーですよ。
The festival finished. I
もう終
only
わっ
had
た。
one day left before I had to catch my train and leave. I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable. She'd done it. Best food.
Maria, my favorite sous chef. Come on through.
It was
急に
Carmen,
どうした
acting every inch the successful cafe. Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place I expected to see her after yesterday's drama. Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs, where she brought out an old record player.
She was selling her camera to clear the cafe's debts. But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I've asked her to come and stay with me for a while. We have a lot of catching up to do.
いい話になったぜ。
I wanted to give her this, to cheer her up. We listened to it all the time when we were kids. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
Okay, let's see
Okay.
what happens when we turn this on.
動作確認。
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
タッタッタッタラララララララ
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring. Here's the problem. This wiring isn't connected properly.
なんで配線がちゃんとつながってねえんだよ。どういう壊れ方をしてるんだが。あ、はい。電源から供給されて、レコードを回さないといけないな。こいつと、レコード回しここしかないのこれ。
That's the speed dial connected. Now we should be able to change it.
こいつがボリュームを
I think that
これで
should
よし
do
と。
it. This record should play beautifully. It's spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play in the right direction?
回転方向逆。
It must be to do with the motor.
あ、いいぞこれ。
Let's see if one of these spares can turn things around.
こっちの方がいいんじゃないの？また難しいことを言い始めた。モデル U5715 モデル U5700 なんして回転が逆になるんだ。今週の輪ゴム。
If I turn the volume up, I should be able to hear it now.
ボリューム上がったよ。とりあえずこれで。
This motor doesn't seem to work. Maybe I'll have better luck with a different one.
また動いてますよ。これどうや。ああ、いい音楽だ。いい音楽だ。ありがてえ。おお、これ取っちゃった。このよく見ろよこれ。この背景の色と同じじゃないか。これだよこれ。完成や。
Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
ああいい、ああいい。正しい音楽って感じだな。
The ones that stole my heart that day.
The record player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear, as she appeared a few moments later.
Is that my record player?
この世界の住民は何もしなくても中身の部品が変わったりするみたいな。
Leaning over the music, they looked just like the young sisters the slide projector had preserved all these years, inseparable once again.
人間関係も修復しちまったぜ。
Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved that camera, but I love my sister more. Now it's hurt. I'm going to stay here with her for a while. Make up for lost time.
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared to try. And to think, it had all started because of a call Carmen made about some seasoning tips. I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. I hadn't spoken to my own parents in a year. I wanted to hear their voices more than anything, but the silence between us was so cavernous. My final morning in Bella Riva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's house. I knew I had to pack, but I figured I could squeeze in. When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already clean.
You've made quite the impression. Izzy, tells me she's going to be a repairwoman like Maria. She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival, I haven't had so much fun in ages. I wanted to give her something before she starts to forget.
Inside, the house was transformed, flooded with light and the sounds of the garden. It felt
家庭環境も直す。
This would be my last repair in Bella Riva, but it felt like it.
It's a music box. It used to play beautifully, but now when I wind
Music
it up, nothing
box.
happens. I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing again. Can you help?
すごい形のオルゴールだな。ほいほいほい。ベイブレードのリングみたいなのが出てきた。
Maria, could you add this family picture of us?
お、接着剤は全てを解決する。はいはいはいはい。これなんだ、予備部品か。うっすうっすうっす。マウスの移動量が予想以上に大きいっていうのはね、この大変なところですよ。ドライバー大変だもんな。これで中の部品が外せるんじゃないか。よし、分解したけど仕組みはさっぱりわからんで。
This mechanism is
完全に壊れている。
I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it.
うわあ、うわあ、うわあ、うわあ、うわあ。すげえな、都合よくポンポン予備のパーツが出てくるの。いや、すげえひしゃげてんな、よく見ると。これはいかれてますわ。 です。肝心な破壊を。これ以上は無理か。これは大丈夫なの？違うな。修理前の写真を撮ってない。いつもの。どういうことでしょうね。動力が、これが動力かな。これ逆なんじゃないのかなって。逆向きとかにできないのかな。こうやってさ。これでチェックできる。これいいの？噛み合ってるの？これどうですか？完璧に修理してやるよ。これでどうでしょうかね。
Perfect. The mechanism is good as new.
パーフェクト。
Still a few parts missing.
押す押す押す。はい。はい。
Those screws still need to be put back.
え？急にどうした？
I think that's everything back together again.
My wife
I should
used
play it to
sing
make
this
sure.
song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always work too late to join them.
すげえ。あの翼どうやって？
Dream for me, if I sit by your side and hold you so tight. Know that I will always love you, even though we both
お父さんの歌声ですね。
so much already. I want to be the father my wife wanted me to be. I've ended up so much like my own father, working all the time. Izzy needs me more than that, especially now. My daughter comes first. Well, until she gets bored of her stuff.
時代遅れの親父に嫌いになるまで。
Izzy came running into the room where Joseph scooped her up and onto his shoulders. She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy.
Thank you, Maria, for everything. The things you fixed for me.
Joseph was a good father, and I could tell he was determined to be an even better one. When it came down to it, that was all any of us wanted. My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left,
自分のために直さないといけないもの。次はラストがね。
my time in Bellariva was almost
急に英語
ending.
表記。
Another chapter finished in a story whose ending I hadn't felt ready to write. The people I'd met, the items I'd restored, they'd taught me so much about what was really important. Pulling out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop, the day I left. Afterwards, I was too ashamed as I packed. I knew that it was up to me to find a way to lighten the load. Izzy gave me this in exchange for my repair manual. She'll be a pro in no time.
修理マニュアルとは。
Helena gave me these designer shirts. Not sure I'll pull them off as well as she does.
思い出がヒストリー・オブ・ウォッチズ。時計の歴史。
Joseph's idea of light reading for the train. It does look thorough.
あいつすっげえ時計が好きだったんだな。あ、例のメモ。
The recipe for Carmen's special. I'm under strict instructions to guard it with my life.
書き直してくれ。正しいことをしたのかわかんねえからな、そもそも。
My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip.
ペーパープリ
My
ーズ。
train ticket. I can't believe it's time to leave Bellariva behind. The
Miami
soundtrack to my
song.
travels. I'll be listening to this on the journey.
ジャーニー。
My suitcase was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be Helena and Carmen's reunion was possible because they'd learned to overcome their differences. Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way of his relationship with Izzy. They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. Maybe it was time I saw things through my parents' eyes. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us, but I finally felt ready to talk to them. Did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure until I reached for the phone and it all came flooding back.
コール、平沢。
Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
終わったー。 制作中に生まれた赤ちゃんとは。ユーズトゥゲームズの友人と家族。制作アップル。
Dear Maria, Carmen here.
Dear
Sorry I'm
Maria.
late. The cafe's been absolutely manic since.
Kinds regard.
Luckily, I have Helena here to help. You wouldn't recognize her. She's like a new woman.
One.
She's always running around, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer.
蛍光グリーンのボーリングシャツとは。
Personally, I draw the line at fluorescent green bowling shirts, but each to their own. It certainly made the. She misses the city though. Bellariva's many things, but it's definitely not as chic as she'd like. She said there was a coffee shop near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top.
コーヒートークか？
It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of
カプチーノの上に葉を添える方法はわかります。
Of course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I got into trying to put the thing together.
なんでこの世界の機械は全部バラ売りされてるのか。
I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times.
あ、これカルメンがやってるのかい。俺カルメン。
These pipes look pretty simple. I should start with them.
これ大丈夫なんですかね。あ、一息。チョコチップクッキー食いてえな。こう何しなくてもすでに蒸気が溢れてるものをバラ売りしてるの。これ何？あ、違うね。これ外せね。これも外しとけ。ほい、さっさ。ここ外す意味。とりあえずここで。
Maria was here. She'd know how to put these pipes together.
なんとね、全部プレイヤーがやってるんですね。しょー。この街おかしいよ。こうじゃねえかな。これ。こいつこうなるの。
Finally, no more steam.
蒸気が漏れなくなった。そう、蒸気漏れの状態でバラ売りするんじゃない。頼むから完成品を買ってくれ。あよしよしよし。ここに基板が入るんだな。で で1番が電力供給、2番はこれはなんだろう、蒸気。最後にこのドリップですわ。3番ドリップ。2番蒸気。1番電源。ほいっす。はい。ほい。ほい。待って、ここにもなんかあるじゃん。電源供給。なんでこうクロスさせてしまうんだ。ガチャンコ。はい。はい。
I think that's everything. Better test the buttons, just to make sure.
これでいいの？
All done. Piece of cake. Time to make my first coffee, I think.
コーヒー作りだ。あはー。ちょっと待って。コーヒーの作り方わからんだが。これは何？これ何？ここにセットした。これドリップですか？ああ。直接入れるじゃダメなの？
Smells delicious. Now to make it look magical.
ああ、ちょっと待って。コーヒーときた。いやっほー。何書くの？ミルクが。ちょっと待ってくれ。
Needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favorite biscuits.
これただのナイキじゃん。リベンジ。よし。こうミルクをかけてるだけじゃないのこれはもう。ドバドバドバドバだ。こう一筆書き。ポッポー。よし。狩りの枯れる文字みたいなね。そう。どうあがいてもおしゃれにならないんだが。エスプレッソマシーン。
I was feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink.
ボスとマダンっていう感じの味とは。
It looked a bit, postmodern, but knowing Helena's refined tastes, I hope she'll think it was intentional. Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it at first. She was so busy wafting it under her nose. Steamed up her glasses, of course. How was she going to see my work
湯気越しに。
through an eye full of fog? When she finally spotted it, though, she was totally impressed.
それなんだと思う？チンアナゴですよ。
I'll admit, She spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She decided it was probably a horse. Well,
これはきっと馬
she
ね。
doesn't know won't hurt her. She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. The whole thing was such hard work, Maria. It made me realize how much I have to thank you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better latte than never.
コーヒーブレイク。いや、終わったな。あ、アップデでコンテンツ追加みたいな。あ、消えた。じゃあ終わりということで。さよなら。